A South Australian politician calling for vaccine passports to restrict and control the unvaccinated. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because we're going to have a look at an article from Reclaim the Net written by Cindy Harper about a South Australian politician who's calling or demanding vaccine passports to control and restrict the unvaccinated. Now, after we go through this article, we're going to have a look at the political party that he represents. And I want you to think to yourself, what type of party, where on the political spectrum would such calls be coming from? Just ask yourself that while I have a shot of coffee, because this is an example of how we need to really shift the oven window. We really need to. So, another lawmaker attacks civil liberties. It really seems to be the in thing to do, doesn't it? It really does. An Australian legislator has proposed vaccine passports for everyone over 18 years as a way of providing a restriction to those who refuse the vaccine. So you can't even conscientiously object anymore, guys. The strict proposal comes as the country handles new waves of infections that are much lower than in other countries. While people might still have a choice whether or not to get vaccinated, what they can do in the community will need to be controlled and restricted, said Frank Pangolla, Member of Parliament in the Upper House, speaking to Adelaide Now. He wants to control and restrict those of you that conscientiously object to taking the vaccine. Okay? Remember, this, even when you are vaccinated, you still will spread the illness. That's been proven. That happens, guys. It just mitigates the effects of it to you and reduces the hospitalization rate. Where's the campaign put forward for other methods to mitigate hospitalization rates? One, reducing, I know I'm harping on about it, but it pisses me off that we never talk about this. Reducing your weight, becoming less obese. We're all a bunch of fat bastards here in Australia, myself included. Okay, and once you learn how much of the shit food that we're, dictated by the government to eat, that's the real red pill right there. Then you start to distrust everything the experts and professionals put to you. Because, what, I'm going to make a reference to this. Here we go. Ansel Keene's 7 countries study. This is the basis of a lot of the claims about, our diet, about heart disease. All comes back to this. Look at the data he chose on the left. Look at the bigger picture on the right. Okay? This is the problem when you do research, if you look for something, if you have confirmation bias. It's been disputed now. It's been proven incorrect. If there's one takeaway from all of this, you're hearing me ramble about people being overweight again and again, go to Low Carb Down Under, watch some of the lectures there, everyone. If as a middle-aged man, that's a way you can take control of your health, even baby steps. Where's the campaign for that? Okay? The South Australia Best Party legislator. South Australia Best. So let's I'll just bring up this here to inform you of their political party, formerly known as Nick Xenophon's SA Best. So it's come from Xenophon's stint in Parliament. They consider themselves centrists and social liberal. Their ideology is centrist and social liberalism. Okay, so they're apparently a centre-based party. Said vaccination certification should be mandatory in hospital venues, public places, workplaces, and for travel. So pretty much everything. He proposed the introduction of a Vaxport, a vaccination certificate, vaccine passport, documented in order to avoid what he said would be a health and economic catastrophe in Australia. How about we put scales at every shop, so if you're considered morbidly obese, you're not allowed to buy any sugar. How about we implement that? I mean, if we're doing this, if we're going full authoritarian, restricting all your bloody rights, let's do it properly, okay? Let's do it properly. So, mate, you're not going to be able to buy any sugar anymore. Let's just do that, hey? Come on. That's a health catastrophe. That's proven to cause diabetes. That's having a huge impact on our health system and cost to the society and civilization. If we're going to go full hardcore, bloody authoritarian, let's do it properly. None of this wishy-washy bullshit. Come on. So far, the Australian government, led by Prime Minister Scott Morrison, has not hinted that it would mandate vaccine passports. Speaking to Adelaide Now, the Chief Public Health Officer, Professor Nicola Spurrier, said the government was considering mandatory vaccination for high-risk professionals, not the wider population. The Health Minister, Stephen Wade, said the government was committed to having the vaccines remain free and voluntary. I understand people will think this is a rather drastic and draconian step, but this pandemic continues to evolve in ways and waves nobody can predict. He added, well, not really. This is just, it seems to be playing out completely like every other illness, doesn't it? It becomes more, the transmission increases over time, and it becomes less deadly. Hospitalization rates in the UK for this new strain are significantly less than the initial one. Maybe also because people are, taking steps to mitigate their risks. He continued to argue that regardless of vaccines, we do not seem to control its spread, and those variants that are emerging, not just the Delta strain, but the deadly Lambda variant from Peru. Pangolla called on the government to update the vaccination program so that individuals who are not yet eligible to get the vaccine can get not yet eligible can get it if they want. Okay, there's a little typo there. Currently in Australia, people under the age of 40 are not eligible to get the Pfizer vaccine, but it was recently announced that they can get the AstraZeneca shot with a green light from their doctor. You know what it is? It's because they bought too many of the bloody AstraZeneca. My understanding is Israel destroyed all the AstraZeneca and only inoculated their population with the Pfizer vaccine. An advisor from the Australian Technical Advisory Group on Immunisation recommends the AstraZeneca jab only for people over the age of 60, recommending Pfizer for those under 60. Australia is on the cusp of a health and economic catastrophe, which requires strong and decisive leadership to prevent the entire country going into lockdown. We already are in lockdown, mate. Hard times create strong leadership. Strong leadership creates good times. This is what we need now. The pussyfooting around by Scott Morrison needs to stop. Only 13% of the Australian population has been fully vaccinated so far. Okay, so these are hard times, are they? What do you think, everyone? So, they're centrists, apparently. The SA Bests are a centrist party. Let's have a look at the party. I find they're quite left-leaning, to be brutally honest, in what I've seen. At the previous election, I went through every Senate candidate in the entire country, and it was quite interesting just to see all the range of political parties that we have in Australia. And a little concerning because a lot of people don't know how to vote. They don't know how to use their preferences. So, real change you can trust. SA Best, unlike the others, isn't shackled by blind ideology, political factions, or vested interests. We're about delivering practical solutions to our state's many problems. So, forcing people to have, forcing people to prove they've undergone a medical procedure to perform basic tasks is a practical solution. We're ready to work with anyone who has SA's best interest at heart. So they're flip-floppers. Join us to help transition. So, ensuring responsible, transparent and accountable government, making our essential services accountable and affordable, ensuring efficient delivery of health and community services, revitalising our economy and giving our kids a solid future in South Australia. Good luck. Making SA the most desirable place in Australia to live and work. Maybe you need to get your power a bit cheaper. Let's have a look at some of their... Let's look at what's their energy policy. Bring down power prices. SA Best has a vision for renewable energy. Future that provides for affordable, reliable, quality... Okay, are they talking about nuclear? Because you're not going to get that otherwise. So, let's see what else. What else do they have? This centrist party. Do they sound centrist, guys? Do they sound centrist? Let's go cyber safety. Implement Carly's Law at a state level to make it an offence for a person over 18 to intentionally misrepresent their age in online communications with minors for the purpose, okay, so grooming. What else do they have here? Cyberbullying, okay. What else? Here we go. Let's see about the gender pay gap. Now, it's complete bullshit. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a gender pay gap. There is a earnings gap that manifests in the different... Well, in the genders, because people make different lifestyle choices. There was an article that just came out in ABC about a career lawyer who gave up on being her career and just working part-time as a volunteer because she had family. She had kids, and it was a big relief. You know, and that's like some huge thing. So they want to make childcare more affordable. No, people want to spend time with their kids. The older you get, the more you work in your career. You realize a lot of it's bullshit. Whoop-de-doo, you jump through all these hoops so you can, design a wonderful fit-out for a multi-millionaire brand that ideologically is a bit of a twat and does the dodge from people. You want to give up having kids for that? We've seen it. We've seen people do it. Anyway, let's see. So, South Australia has always had a strong progressive history. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Suffragettes will make women's participation in the workplace a priority. Okay, so they want to force women to work. It should be a choice. Honestly, the best outcome, if you're having a family, you want to keep one person home. And traditionally, it's been the mother because, well, mothers breastfeed. Okay, and if you can pull it off, if you can manage to breastfeed, there's proven benefits to that, even on your IQ level. So why do you want to push for women to work? You want to push for the option that you could actually afford to live with only one person working. Women comprise the majority of public sector employees. I'll just show this other little chart here about wages, guys. Just civil servant wages. There you go. And the unions. The effect of this, they continue to be underrepresented in executive positions in South Australia's public sector. The effect of this is that formidable, hard-working women are being underutilised and held back from achieving their full potential, especially in senior leadership roles. With that is the loss of mentoring that women in executive roles provide to younger women. SA Best can make the advancement of women in senior leadership roles in South Australia a priority. So, how are they doing that? Are they going to put quotas in? Why is this even an issue? I mean, this is just... does this sound like it? This is a centrist party, guys. A centrist party that wants to force you to have vaccine passports, and now, they want to have, they believe in this gendered rubbish. Gender pay. Okay, what are they saying? The gender pay gap has implications for... Okay, it's rubbish. It's rubbish. Taking time out of the workforce to raise a family can no longer be used as a justification for holding women back and paying them less. You get paid what you're worth, or you're meant to be paid what you're worth. And maybe, what's wrong with taking time out to raise your own bloody kids? You don't want the state to raise them. These are centrists. We need to close the gap as a priority to ensure South Australian female public servants and indeed all female employees are not undervalued and underpaid. To achieve this, we'll seek an independent inquiry to report, yada, blah, 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 to establish the extent of the gender pay gap, make recommendations. Okay, so they believe in it. They think it's a thing. They don't respect the fact that women have individual agency and may make different choices, may not want to work all the shit long hours in your crappy civil servant job, and maybe want to spend some time with their kids. Centrists. Okay? So there we go, guys. There we go. This is why I'm advocating for a shift in the Overton window. We really need to shift it. We need to shift it bad. If this type of rubbish is presented as centrist political policy, we got a big problem in Australia. Okay? Because the wage gap, it's bullshit. Everyone knows it. Well, no, apparently not. Apparently not. Everyone doesn't know it. Anyone who's ever run a business or who's actually done a little bit of research that isn't ideologically based will understand how it works. If you've been a civil servant your whole bloody life, or a politician or a bloody reporter, of course you don't know it. It's probably just the circles you live in. We saw that other article yesterday, where, what's his name? Our beloved Premier here, every journalist in Australia was in uproar, and every overweight comedian was in uproar. That's not Australia. It's time for the silent majority to speak up. That's what it is. It really is. Because this is the thing. People need to become more active, honestly. And I know you don't want to. I know you got too much shit on. You're working. You're busy. It's frustrating. But if normal people don't start taking interest, nutcases like this are going to propose this rubbish, and freaks will just, line up and go, yes, jackboot, please. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts on this one in the comments down below. Is this a centrist party, guys? As always, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can sign up for SelfWealth or Stake. Use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Buy our merch from HeiseSays. Use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint or support us via PayPal. Take care. I'll see you next time.